Hey everybody, welcome back to Women Carry Knives. On the table in front of me, we are going to be taking a look at the Realsteel E775 Griffin. These run about $54, so this is going to be a budget knife. And for the price, I am really loving this knife. It is a great deal. We're looking at a 14C28N drop point blade with a full flat grind and a tumbled finish. Just beautiful. You have got the thumb hole here for a thumb hole deployment if you so choose. You can roll this one out. Now, I am not a thumb roller. It does have a button lock, which is how I would prefer it. And running on bearings, this one is very, very smooth. So I am really loving that too. Your handle is going to be aluminum. Unfortunately for my lefties out there, it is a right-hand tip-up carry only. And you've got this steel clip. It's pretty tough. It's got good tension to it. Slides in and out of the pocket really easy. It is not deep carry. When it is in your pocket, you're going to have it about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch sticking out of your pocket. So if you like deep carry, you're going to have to change your clip. You can see on this one, what I really like is, you know, when you have a button lock, you have a very drop shutty knife, for lack of better wording. It does drop shut rather quickly. What I do like about this, and if you can see this here, is you have this roller in the back. And this roller, if you turn it, allows you to lock the knife. So you cannot accidentally shut this knife. If you were to be using this knife, cutting something, really getting into it, you know, there is a possibility, depending on how you're holding it, that you could hit that button lock. And if you did so, it could come right down on your fingers. So definitely make use of this lock if you're going to be using it for anything, you know, that you might have to put a little more effort into. This is a finger flicker, a spidey flicker, if you would choose. Can't quite thumb flick. I was trying to get that earlier. It's just not long enough for me. But, like I said, it is a button lock. It does snap into place very nicely. The ergonomics of this handle, I really do like it. It is shaped very well. It fits really, really well in hand. So I really like that. You have a bit of jimping here on the spine, so if you'd like to choke up on it, you can do so with ease. Let's take a look at a few of the specs here. So your blade length is going to be 3.5 inches, and you've got about almost 3.25 inch cutting edge on this one. Your handle is going to be just over 4.5 inches. So that's a pretty good size. And your overall length, which I wouldn't consider this a large knife. However, lengthwise, I would consider it more of a larger knife. So your overall length is going to be 8.25 inches in length. Now, if we compare that to the Rat Model 1, you can see here, it's basically the same size if we put it next to the Bug Out. You know, you're looking at maybe an inch less on the Bug Out. So, you know, that's a good size. It's a decent sized knife. I don't know that I would call it large. I would definitely call it medium. I guess lengthwise, I would have to call it a larger knife, but you know, like I said, in hand, I don't have a lot. Now, I would probably choke up on this one a little more, you know, depending on what I'm doing, but you're still, I mean, I've got another, with my fingers, probably another 2 fingers on this side, as you can see. Now, if I'm back on the knife, it's going to fit perfectly in hand. So again, it is a great knife. The fidget factor on this thing is just phenomenal. Super smooth, as long as you don't fail the flick. It is super smooth. Now, You might run into some issues with the aluminum. Sometimes that can tend to get a little bit slippery. I have not had any problems. So again, as I've said many, many times before, I don't hard use. So my hardest use would be maybe at work. Maybe I might be cutting some rope or cutting some really thick boxes, but I don't have a problem with it. I think overall that it's a really good knife. I'm completely satisfied, and for $54, you just cannot go wrong with that. This knife weight-wise is just shy of 3.5 ounces, so they're calling it 3.49 ounces. That's a pretty good weight for this size knife. When I saw it, I was thinking it was going to be a lot heavier, but due to the fact that it is aluminum, you do not have to worry about it. Like I said, again, fidget factor is wonderful. It runs on bearings, so it is super smooth. I love the drop shut action on this. I mean, it just super drop shutty. You know, it's very pleasing to the eye. It's very simple. It's a super simple knife. I love it. I love the full flat grind on this. I have a thing for simple knives, for very simplistic styles. And I mean, I think they're great. There's not a whole lot into it. It's just the knife, period. And I do love that. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love knives that tend to be a little bit fancy too. But sometimes if there's a knife that you really want to use and you want to, you know, kind of workhorse it and use it all the time, maybe you don't want it to be super fancy because you don't want it to get ruined. And this would be a knife that would be absolutely awesome. I would throw this in my pocket. I would use it all the time. You do have the ability to throw a lanyard on here for those of you that do like the lanyards. But yeah, you can't, you know, you're going to get a good edge on this thing. The button lock is really good. The tension on it. Sometimes, you know, I've had a couple button locks that seem really kind of soft. And now I can't get it back out. There we go. I do love the fact that you have the two different options of opening it. You can finger flick it. It's a great fidget knife, again, because it runs on bearings. It is super smooth. And this is one that I will most likely be adding to my collection because you can't go wrong at that price. And I've said that several times, but I'm not kidding. It's great. All right, you guys, this has been the Realsteel E775 Griffin. Like I said, runs for $54. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it down in the comments section. I'd love to have you here all the time. If you're not a subscriber, go and hit that subscribe button and that like button. It definitely helps out the channel. If you, like I said, any questions or comments, leave them down there. And thank you so much for joining me.